You're listening to On the Road, a podcast powered by Otto Car.
And will you be expanding within London as well?
So yeah, I think we have, where we want to get to the M25. I think a lot of us, it's about thoughtful expansion. You don't want to, encourage drivers to join the platform on the M25 when you don't currently have demand there.
Is there a limit to what kind of zone do you finish at the moment?
At the moment, where we're sort of out to zone 5.
Okay, that's more or less right at the edge.
Which we're not that far, but actually extending from zone 5 to M25 doubles the size of the zone.
Really? Okay.
That's how big the zone 6 outwards is, and that's a large part of the population. We have a lot of drivers that live in that area, and it would be nice to be in zone the second you get online, but we want to be able to have demand for those drivers when they're in that area.
Sure.
And so a lot of we haven't been one of those companies that just launched everywhere. We've really thoughtfully expanded, and it's been about, okay, when can we encourage sharing? When can we get high aggregation? When can we make sure that our drivers on our platform are earning enough no matter where they are? We think we're pretty close. And so I think that will be coming pretty imminently. We're also only servicing 3 airports at the moment. So we're at London City Airport, Gatwick and Heathrow. Obviously there's Stansted, Luton, to other fairly big airports with quite big demand, where we actually think the sharing concept, given how far it is and how poorly serviced it is by existing public transportation, could actually be a pretty good
there is. I mean, also there's the Stansted Express,
National Express,
which is not too bad. The coach, but the National Express coach is not, without disrespecting them too much on the podcast. It's you have to wait almost like half an hour sometimes in a queue outside. It gets you there cheap, but it's quite slow.
I think it depends on where you live. Like, I don't live far from Finchley Road, and so all of a sudden it's incredibly convenient to catch the National Express, but I didn't used to live there, and it used to be I'd have to figure out a way to get to a train station and then hope the train that comes once an hour to that airport was in the right hour I needed it.
And they're quite expensive as well.
It doesn't feel like it's a good enough solution given the airports that they service, and also those airports typically have people that are a little bit more cost conscious. That's the reason they're typically flying with those providers, including myself.
Oh, classic mistake.
From the host.
It was Ashley, of course. Ashley, who's our graphic designer at Otto Car. I'll call him back.
What was the...
We was discussing.
National Express.
That's the one.
Yeah. So I was just saying that the National Express not the National Express consumers who use Luton and Stansted airports are a little bit more cost conscious, as typically am I, and so the thought of spending a huge amount to get to the airport, sometimes if you take a private hire vehicle there as a single passenger, you pay more for the car to the airport than you do for the flight, and that seems a little bit
I've been Stansted many a time. Even actually just last week I just came back from there, and it basically cost me just as much to get there. Looking about £40 to £45 from North London to get to Stansted, and the flight itself was 60 return. So then you include the Stansted Express on the way back, which is 17, 18 quid. It's literally the same price, if not more sometimes.
So my thoughts are I think there is a cool opportunity there if you can build the right aggregation. Also, people going to and from the airport are obviously a lot more sensitive to to detours, and so I think what you need to do is guarantee there's very, very limited detours, almost like you request a time you need to get to the airport by, and we sort of guarantee that we'll get you there in time. But I think with that sort of promise in mind, I think you could actually set up a pretty cool service that way. I think the other thing from a driver perspective is you need to make sure there's demand both ways. You don't really want to send drivers to Stansted Airport if you can't guarantee them a trip home. And so figuring that out, I think, is important before we launch.